Y'all, word on the street is our girl Trina, who used to go by the baddest B, is no longer the baddest. Rest in peace to the baddest B title, because in fact, she is so dried up and so desperate that she did what a lot of women are doing today. She went and found her a has been, some man running around here with kids that allegedly he not taking care of them, and allegedly she don't care, because as she stated on today's episode, this is her man, honey. So we got to jump into what is going on with Trina, and more so what is going on with women today, that we have gotten to the point, well, I'm not going to say we because I'm not a part of that equation, that we have gotten to the point that we are just going to accept any and everything. And learning that Trina had actually gotten married, I was actually very, very excited for her. But now we are learning on this season that it seems like Trina may have married out of desperation, being that a lot of information is coming out about her husband. Now, we did see her husband sit down with her brother, and at that time, he revealed that they had married. Now, Trina didn't actually get um, the opportunity to actually tell her own family that she was married. What we saw in the episode was that her husband said, "We are married." And it actually seemed like he wanted everybody, including Trina's family, to just leave them alone. Now, as it could get any better, we also learned that Trina's husband, Swerve, he actually has a whole lady that is looking for him to pretty much take a test to determine if he, in fact, is the father of the child. Now, it seems like he has not been adjudicated the father, but I guess if you are ducking and dodging and not allowing yourself to be swabbed or genetic tested for a child that could potentially be yours, I'ma say you just as bad and trifling, as a woman who may not even know who the father is. Now, I don't know if the female is saying that she doesn't know if he's the father. Generally, in a situation when you're not married, or if you're not in a committed relationship, or even if you're dealing with a man who ain't nothing, or maybe even a woman ain't nothing, sometimes people do want to be tested. But it gets a little crazy when this female sits down with Hot Topic and she goes on to say that she has actually been looking for Swerve. However, she has not been able to reach him. She also stated that she wouldn't have a problem if the information was relayed to Trina, because, in so many words, she felt like Trina, because, Trina being a woman, Trina would help her facilitate this transfer of DNA. So, as it stands, Trina is now married. So, what is happening now is Hot Topic is actually sitting down with this female, and she's saying, "Girl, are you just maybe a little bit angry or bitter because now you know that Swerve has moved on with someone else? Are you just here?" Trying to cause trouble, because you guys, that does happen in situations. Now, the lady didn't seem mad, bitter, or she didn't seem any of that, but indicated that she could not reach this man. She made it seem as if he is pretty much ducking and dodging her, and that could definitely be a situation if somebody know that they could potentially be the father. So the best thing that they're going to do is avoid being tested, because if they can avoid being tested, then I guess they not the daddy. I don't know what goes through the mind of a lunatic, but at the end of the day, she has stated that she would rather talk to Trina, or if Hot Topic can give the information to Trina, because she feels like maybe she can have a chance at getting this man tested. So it seems like maybe, in fact, he is the father, because I would assume that if she had other candidates or other men that could have been tested, I don't know, maybe they've been tested already. I don't know. But it gets very interesting because as we get to the end of the show and then they show the previews for next week, we get the opportunity to hear Trina and Swerve have a conversation. And y'all gonna be surprised by what was said. And y'all, this is where it gets deep. Now, I don't know if you guys actually paid attention to this because this was actually at the very end. And in fact, this is really a preview for next week. Now, this is why I am going to emphasize that Trina most definitely is desperate. Now, Trina does not have children, and I couldn't imagine how it would feel to be, her age and maybe want to have a family and feel like maybe that time could have, in fact, passed her up. So, in this particular episode, in which you guys are going to get to see next week, they are having a conversation about this lady that is saying that he could potentially be her child's father. Now, he goes on to say he does not want to talk about it, then proceeds to say he does not have to discuss or tell her anything that happened before he met her. And I was shaking my head, and this is the very reason why the family was feeling a little different about him, because this dude is weird. Now, he also went on to say that he's talking to his attorney about it. You know, in a situation where there's a DNA test involved, he doesn't need to talk to his attorney about anything. He needs to be DNA tested. So this is clear and cut that this dude got something to hide. And this is also, a situation where, women get desperate and feel like they just got to jump all in. You cannot make a bum a man. This dude is a loser. Now, even if he is not the father of this lady's child, the fact that he ducking and dodging and don't want to get DNA tested is a story all in itself. Now, we have saw Trina be ghetto all on this show. It's just like that is kind of who she is these days. But we saw when she sat down and talked to him, she was so nice. And I just wish she can be like that with everybody else.